Yo, 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 yo.
What is good? Will is back. Will is back. We didn't scare him away after the first week. And we're on to another Dynasty Trades show. So everyone, let's buckle in. Let's start chatting, blowing up the chat with your questions. And we'll make sure to get to every single one we can. So I'm looking forward to that. Little bit of housekeeping. We hit a milestone. We got 1,000 subs on our channel. So I appreciate it. All the support. We continue to grow this and have more Dynasty and fantasy football stuff for y'all in the future.
Definitely.
You want to give an intro, Will?
Yeah. No, it's good to be back. I did miss the show. I know you did the roster review last episode.
Yes.
But happy to be back. There's I feel we're starting to get to the point where there's real life news. You know, it isn't just like rookie hype prospects, hyper analyzing combine times. Like we're starting to get into the like NFL owner meeting stuff, actually like leading up to the draft and everything. We're less than a month away. We're in the month of the NFL draft. It's real life dynasty time.
I know. I mean, that's something I've seen too. It's like an uptick in trades, like on the trade database, things like that. And that's exciting. I mean, I can't even imagine what it's going to look like once we get to the draft. I mean, once the draft happens, it's all hell breaks loose. So I'm really excited to get to the actual point where you can sit back and watch teams and actually have to make decisions and not just hear, oh, they like this guy or something like that.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. I guess real quick before we get into the trades, I'm stalling as I'm fixing the browser stuff that was obviously working before the stream started, but I feel like I have to do some Breece Hall copium conversation, being a big Breece bag defender. The Glenn, no, I don't know if you've seen some of the reports. I think there's some cool new stuff to talk through, but there was the classic mention of the three-headed monster with the utilizing all backs. And, we had the Braylon Allen goal line stuff last season. But I do want just a word to the wise through all this stuff that, like, head coaches, staff of team, they have no reason to talk negatively about players. So there's always the, like, yeah, we want to get Sean Tucker involved in the Tampa Bay backfield. Like, yeah, we got three guys in the backfield that we trust. So I think before everyone goes selling Breece Hall for early seconds, to grab your Cam Scattaboo, I just want to make sure that I kind of touch base on that.
No, that's fair. I mean, I think I heard it was today too. Kevin O'Connell was like, "Oh, Aaron Jones, we have a 1A and a 1B now with Jordan Mason." So, people definitely like to hype up. Apparently every backfield is going to have 4 running backs that all get 15 targets or something. So, let's pump the brakes. We kind of know who the studs typically are, and then we can adjust if things happen. But I'd be surprised if Breece falls off the face of a cliff.
Yeah. And I mean, there's some other stuff too. I don't know if do you play any kick return leagues or like yardage, punt return, kick return? Because I know the big thing is the 35-yard touchback. That being
I didn't even think about. Yeah, that's gonna make. I remember I played like my first year of Scott Fishbowl last year, and it had crazy kick returns yards, and I remember like Raheem Blackshear. I remember drafting him, and like everyone around me was like, "What are you doing, dude?" And I was like, "Just wait." And he dropped like 40 points week 1. So hopefully we kind of lower some of the return yard points. But that'll be interesting to see how that impacts everything.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't see the onside kick rule pass. I don't know if that's been voted on yet, but I was hoping that would pass because the current onside kicks are just depressing.
Oh yeah, no, it's yeah, I don't play in any, so I don't want to give too many takes on it, but I know it will impact. I'm sure there's people in here. I mean, if you're in a Dynasty Daddy live stream, you're probably in some funky scoring leagues. But I know it's
I definitely hear a bunch.
But let's I'm gonna throw up this first one we got in the YouTube. We'll get to the chat here while Will's getting it figured out. But let's grab this one that was posted, and we'll do a little Waddle conversation. So this was posted. This was a reply to the YouTube announcement post. Traded for Waddle and gave up a 25-second and third. I feel like I got to steal, but how are we feeling about Waddle and his 2025 season outlook? I'll let you take this one, Jeremy.
Yeah, I mean, I think the first thing I'm like, you don't even. That's one of those deals where you're like, are you sure? Like, this is April Fool's, and it's a second and a third for Waddle. Like, I'm taking it 100% of the time. No questions asked. Waddle's like a hard one for me. Like, he's like in that Olave, like Garrett Wilson type tier where you're like, he had some upside. He's still somewhat young. He should be in a decent enough offense, but it's kind of an overpriced wide receiver 2 type of prototype, especially with Tyreek Hill still being there. And I know there's rumors and all that, but for that price, I mean, I'm easily taking that any day of the week.
Yeah, and it's one of those things too where it's like, even if the like lowest outcome hits, where he's just kind of that replaceable wide receiver 2, I mean, that's what you're trading seconds and thirds for anyways.
Yeah, I mean, I remember Deontay Johnson was going for like 2 seconds mid last year when he had those 2 good games on the Panthers. So this is an amazing deal in general. I mean, I think, Will, how high of a pick would you trade for Waddle in the 2025 class today?
Jay, I feel like I have to go back thinking about what I would have paid for Waddle in a lot of leagues and what I did pay for Waddle in leagues back to when he was going to be what Drake London is right now. And especially, it's so tough too because the disappointing seasons and a lot of the injury stuff, like this should be Waddle's time, right? The Tyreek Hill peace sign tweets, which I think he's staying. I know he was talking about some fake news in response to some reports that have been put out about things. But yeah, probably, I mean, I could see myself like the third, like the range I would take like the third wide receiver in this class. Like I could see myself like that late first I could send for Waddle, but I don't necessarily want to just because I've talked a lot and it's kind of a cop-out answer for a lot of questions.
Yeah, you're getting a little squirmy over there trying to get out of it.
Yeah, I don't want to do I respond to so many questions like this, but it's just like it's a cop-out that I believe in. Okay, so I'm gonna stick with it. But the rookie picks, like trading, there's no reason to trade them now for players like Waddle. Because once the draft happens, regardless of what players will go where, there will be excitement. Like maybe we don't get 3 receivers in the first round, but there'll be enough players with the tight ends and the running backs in this class where people will get excited about late firsts. So like, yeah, probably in a vacuum, I would send a late first for Waddle, in right situations where, I need a receiver. It makes sense with the way my roster is set up, but not something I'm looking to do, especially pre-draft.
Yeah, and if I really want to plug like a wide receiver hole on my roster, like obviously a second and third, I'm taking Waddle any day of the week. But with a late first, you kind of open up the conversation for Tyreek Hills and Devontae Adams, and you could do like a late first and maybe even get like a plus back of some kind. But just having like Devontae Adams on your roster is going to be way more impactful than a Waddle most likely.
Yeah, no, I feel you. And two, it's like that replaceable receiver range. I have an announcement, guys. I figured out the live stream stuff. It's finally here. First message I got. It's you know what? We should meet up 30 minutes before and run through some tests to get the stuff set up. DD in the house. How's it going? We're finally here. The stalling was enough. The talking through my Breece bag defending, the Jalen Waddle talk. We're here. But yeah, no, I think we talked through the kickoff touchback stuff a little bit, and just as I say, I'm getting it figured out. All I got is DD in the house in the chat showing up, but we'll
that's what I had last time. It's like it doesn't like backlog it.
I know, and it's you know what the worst thing that could happen is things to work so well the first time you do it. That's probably the worst thing that could ever happen. But I promise, if I have to write out every single chat comment on my own in the first message, we'll get this figured out. So don't you guys worry. We'll get this going.
I do have chat pulled up. I could read off something if you want.
It's just Sean. That's all you need, bro.
Well, I don't have your one. I have like the YouTube live chat.
So all right.
I can see all of them.
You run the show. Okay. While I'm
so first off, Tony on the post, he had the first one about Waddle, got the fleece. But Tony also in a non-tight end premium league, what would be the best price for Bowers? Preferably cross position trade, and not including draft picks.
Non-tight end premium, no. So let's go position by position. I mean, QB is kind of weird. I just feel like QB trades are just weird in general, just because I feel like I never trade for a quarterback without giving up a quarterback, or vice versa.
Yeah,
I guess it'd be like a really unique
what quarterback
situation.
would you give up for Bowers?
Non-tight end premium.
It is a difference-making tier, though. Like, there's a few that you're like, okay, like you would pay up for a Bowers in that type of format.
I mean, would you? What about Caleb Williams?
I'd probably do that. I feel like I could get like Caleb Williams type production. I feel like with like if I just ride a couple QB2s, I feel like would be easier to acquire.
Yeah.
Than like sticking with like Cole Kmet or whatever, and like trying to hope that I can piece together gross tight ends. Like just having the guy that's gonna go in every day and drop 20 points. What do you do like Marvin Harrison Jr.?
Marv, where you at with Marv? I think he's firmly below like the Drake London tier, just with what we saw in the rookie season. But you remember the year 3 breakout for wide receivers we used to give? Like it was like you gave him 3 years. Now it's like
we can't wait that long. We can't wait like that
rookie
long.
season. You let me down in my redraft league. Like you are banished to the shadow realm. Jalen Waddle in a second for you. No, I think I could see myself doing Marv.
I feel like Marv I would definitely do. Because like again, like how well is Marv going to score?
What if Bowers is just Puka as a tight end, like literally breaking the rookie records? You get the positional
only thing
advantage.
That scares me is we literally did have this last year with Laporta, where like Laporta was like this untouchable tight end one locked in loaded next to Travis Kelce, and then now we have Bowers. Yeah, like sometimes their usage change, but
yeah,
I do feel like when you have that elite tier guy, if I can take a guy that's I mean, Marvin Harrison Jr. has another year like he had last year, and he's Jalen Waddle. So, like if you can take a guy that kind of is inflated by his name and just get someone that has proven to be an elite guy at a positional advantage, I would.
Yeah.
But I probably wouldn't go much higher. I wouldn't go like Puka or like Puka would be off limits. Like I wouldn't touch like a Jalen Hurts or anything like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. None of I don't think any of the top running backs you're getting. I don't think like Gibbs, Bijan, Genty, I couldn't see for sure. Even in non-tight end premium, you'd probably have to like Saquon Achane. I do. Okay. Yeah. I do have the chats. You know what it is? Maybe I think we're bigger than we are. Cause I saw the chats not populating and I go, man, I'm all messed up. I don't know how to do this stuff, but we got the chat messages here. What up, John P? Patrick Mahomes for Sam Darnold. I want to laugh. I want to pull this up to laugh a little bit.
I feel like this is April Fool's.
But I also want to talk through it a little bit. Because I was a part of the, I don't know if were you a big Patrick Mahomes? I feel like last season we really hit the, dang, what does Patrick Mahomes really give you? Like, is he really this like 102, 103? And I've seen in startups now. Yeah.
It was a bubble.
It was a bubble for sure. But I think even startups now, I mean, I don't think you're touching Patrick Mahomes in the first, 7, 8 picks of a startup? Is that like right where you're thinking about him around those elite receivers in a Superflex league?
Yeah, no, I'm definitely not taking him in the first currently. I mean, I do think what you have with Mahomes though is just security. Yeah. So it's like, okay, I got a locked in low end QB1, and then maybe give 2 years ago his it was a high power offense scoring a ton of points. 2 years from now, it could change. And then all of a sudden, he has to throw for 50 touchdowns again. So, to me, I'm like, okay, if I have Mahomes, like, I'm not necessarily like I need to move him because you have like it's like you got gold. Like, it's always going to be worth gold. It's just like how valuable is it in that market? Right now, I don't think he is like super valuable. Now, would I trade him for Sam Darnold? Hell no. I mean, unless if I get like a nice plus, right? I assume like a 1-for-1, I'm obviously on Mahomes' side.
Yeah, I think he was kind of an interesting trade conversation person last season, specifically just because the name, value, and cachet. Like, you can cash out if you want to. So, like, obviously everyone had the mindset, or not everyone, but for the most part it was, yeah, he's probably not this, like, top 3 startup pick like he has been for the past couple seasons. But, I mean, he's still Patrick Mahomes. So, I think that longevity, for sure, I think.
It's kind of like, I mean, I don't want to... It's kind of like Joe Burrow a little bit. Burrow has like the injury concerns, but like when you don't have like the elite high rushing upside, you're just gonna have down years, like because there's just gonna be years where your offense is different. You don't have to throw as much. And that's just
defense is worse. Like you know, we've seen Kansas City's defense for the past couple of seasons. Spagnuolo for sure has.
And their defense has been a lot better, so they don't. Really
they've been able to run the
push
ball.
the ball down. Whereas you see Burrow has to push the ball down. So like they're in
shootouts all the time.
Yeah.
Do you see the Mark Rowe message?
I just pulled up this Tony one just because it was a little Mahomey here. Just sold in one of my leagues for a 26 first, and wow. Just 26 first and second and a 27 first. Oh, and a second. I
assume it's Superflex. I mean,
two and a second, still a lot. Yeah, I mean when you get into like 26 and 27, I'd want to see what the teams look like.
It's crazy. He got Jeremiah Smith in a first and a second. That's crazy.
There you go. I see.
No, I mean I think that's honestly a pretty decent deal, all things considered. Because like you're also starting to stare down the age cliff where like his value is not going to bump much more. He's going to still, like even when like Brady was playing and like you had elite years with him, but it wasn't like his value was untouchable.
Yeah.
So 2 firsts, like you can always buy back in for a first and a second, probably just bank a first. So I don't hate it. And you could probably just buy a Geno Smith for a second and have pretty similar production if that offense stays the same.
Definitely. Are you able to pull up I can F it, we're doing it live, grab it in the image that I pop up of the chats. Do you have the Mark Rowe one to pull up?
I don't have like the clickable thing where I can like show them, but
no worries.
I can just
we're doing it live. Offer in my inbox. So this is Dynasty Daddy Discord here. We're peeling back the curtain. But don't worry, Mark, I got your message here. One of the earliest chat messages, and that's why it's not populating for me, but it's okay. Offered my inbox Achane for 113. Dang, we got a 14 team. 201, 209, and a 14 team PPR. Depth is key in this league. So I assume, do we have the starters, Mark, if you're still in the chat? I know 14 team. Depth is key makes me think we're talking 14 team. I mean, probably I guess it's maybe start 10.
Start 9, start 10 probably.
Yeah, because 14 team, you're still getting pretty deep there, even in a start 9, start 10. Do I take the dice roll on late rookies or hold Achane? I would be curious to know what your team is looking like and the starters. But even, what are you getting in that 13th pick?
I honestly am probably just going to like gut check and say I'm probably keeping Achane here. Like, unless if it's literally like 14, start 12, and it's like I just need anyone that might touch the ball. I do think Achane, especially in a 14 team, especially with how we've seen running back production in the past couple of years with war and all of that. I mean, Achane's going to be an absolute menace in this type of league. So to give it up for, like, are you hoping you get like, I don't know, Jackson Dart and like, Caleb Johnson maybe at best case, maybe Colston Loveland or something like. I don't know. I'd rather just have a guy where I'm like, I can lock him in for 20 points per game. Now, if that first was a little bit higher, like a 108 or something, 107, then I'd be like, okay, the value's probably on the take all the players and hope some of your dart throws hit. But,
yeah. For every Bucky Irving, there's a Jonathan Brooks, right? Like, we can get excited.
You don't have to say that.
My bad. All right, what's a better example? What's another Jonathan Brooks I can use
Jonathan
so I don't
Brooks
have to
is a great
Panthers
example.
you?
No, it's a great example. It's there's always a Miles Sanders.
There you go.
Yeah, I mean there's always going to be. I mean over half of the players that you pick. I mean I think it's 40% hit rate depending on how you qualify hit rate.
And to like I mean even if some of these running backs, like let's say we get good roles. I mean what role? I don't know. Do you see? I think the Dolphins offense should shift. Do we see a possibility where, in the next season or two, Achane just isn't exactly what he's been for the past season and a half? Like the efficiency dipped, but he's just getting, 5-6 targets a game. So I think we've seen the like highest highs and the solid floors for someone like that. And I think it's hard to project that, even though you are getting 3 shots, but probably only 2 of those shots you'd be excited about. I mean, the 209 in a 14 team, I mean, we're looking late.
That's basically
late
a 3rd round pick.
Yeah,
like a 12
early
team
third. So I think if I analyzed the team a little bit more and got to see like what the running back room looked like, maybe my answer would change. But I think think I'm sticking with Achane here. We're gonna get to some of these trades. I talked about. I'm the Breece Hall defender. Should I sell Hall? Here's what I will say. I mean, now, what do you think you even get for Breece Hall? I put him on the trade block. Hey guys, I want to get out of here. You would never do this. Don't do this in your actual leagues. I got to get out of this guy.
Right now. Pulling up sleeper.
He's a 3-headed monster. I got to get out.
Breece for any third.
What do you actually get for Breece Hall? Because you're not going to be able to touch Hampton. You're not getting the 102, 103. You're probably looking mid first for Breece.
I think it's probably a mid. I feel like a mid first I'd ship him for, or I mean I feel like I would ship a mid first for Breece because I'm like, okay, he has some guaranteed role.
Yeah.
You know, like we've seen him do it before. It's kind of just like a health thing and like a Jets thing.
It's a Jets thing, man. It's a, running backs. Here's what I'll say, and I want to say this about the 3-headed monster thing, and then we'll move on. I don't need to yap about Breece Hall.
I feel like that keeps you up at night.
I'm hitting my quota, but dude, for running backs, young running backs that I care about in Dynasty, because I'm always like a mercenary running back guy. We talk about Aaron Jones, we talk about these old guys buying Mixon last season just because, hey, he's gonna get a ton of touches. Like, what else is gonna happen in this backfield? But for me, if I'm buying these young running backs, like you need to hit the 2 out of 3 of good, efficient offense, pass catching weapon, and preferably goal line usage, or just like a decent floor of touches. And I believe that Breece has 2 of those. I believe that he doesn't have the third of the good, efficient offense. And I'm hoping
good
that
organization might be something.
I'm hoping Glenn can help change that. So I think for me, I still believe in the floor of Breece Hall of like, yeah, he was annoying last season, but like he was annoying in the perspective of he was a first round underdog pick, expected to totally smash and, be a difference making legendary upside running back who he obviously wasn't last season. But I believe.
Yeah, I mean, I think he probably has like one more year or so from being like a shiny dynasty piece.
Yeah.
So I think it's something of like, okay, cool. Like, let's give it a run. And then like, if it's like week 3, week 4, and it's like, okay, it's obviously he doesn't have it anymore. Then I'm being very aggressive. Like, let me just cash out. Let me tear down. Let me just get some value before everyone wakes up and realizes, wait, this dude is, over the hill as like an elite guy.
Talk me off the ledge, and then I'm going to pull up a question that is not Breece Hall related. What is the realistic, reasonable, absolute bottom floor for Breece Hall, not injury related? Like, is there a future where he's only getting like 10 rushes and 1 to 2 catches a game? I don't see that. I feel like he's like gonna sit in that like 12, 14, 4 targets a game, even in the Justin Fields offense. Or do you think the floor is lower than the rosy picture I'm painting in my mind?
I mean, it's probably a tiny bit lower, but I do agree if he's healthy. Like, I mean, that's a big if, right? I mean, I think half his years he's missed like half the season at least. So he's been injured a lot, but I do think when he plays, he is really good. The issue is like at a certain point, running backs hit a certain age where people are like, I don't really want them anymore. And you kind of see it with like Jonathan Taylor this year, where it's like, some of the deals I hear Jonathan Taylor going for, I'm like, wait, he's not this like shiny centerpiece player that people look at anymore. Even though he's still doing what he was doing before.
Yeah, smashed at the end of the year.
He just kind of loses some of that shine. So it's like, hey, if I could tear off a Breece Hall and pick up a Jonathan Taylor plus something, yeah, I'm gonna try to do that if I can.
All right, let's. I'm gonna crank these out here, or not crank these out. We're gonna give them the devotion that they deserve. But we got a 12 by 10 Superflex PPR, 0.15 point per carry, 0.75 10 in premium. I believe it's for this one, but even if that applies to the next one, JJ for the 101, 203, Michael Penix, and Romeo Dobbs. Let's get him in there, baby.
Quite the follow.
Dude, JJ for the 101, 203, and you get Penix. Are you moving off of JJ for this?
Where is it at? JJ,
12 team start 10. If this is the 0.15 point per carry,
Hurts,
I think it's
Tyler,
especially
Penix,
interesting.
Gibbs, Warren.
Oh, so
he's getting JJ, right?
Okay.
Because it looks like his roster has
Hurts Kyler is nice to get off that third quarterback. I'm a big get off the third quarterback guy. We're gonna yap all night. I'm a huge sell your third quarterback. Are we in the same boat? Are you a sell your third quarterback guy?
I'm more of like a tier down to the guy that people think is washed, and then all of a sudden you have a Baker Mayfield as your third quarterback.
Hurts Kyler, you're being chillin', no matter how much crap
exactly.
Kyler gets.
Like I don't care. Like get rid of Penix. I'm probably taking JJ here, to be honest. I feel like, I mean, if you're listing Dobbs and Downs,
yeah, that's
like,
true.
Get JJ. Get JJ. You know, and like what are you giving up? You're giving up a running back. You're giving up Dobbs. Oh no, and Penix, which is like, I think he's already 25, 26, injury history. Sure, that's like the con. We haven't seen him play. He could be good, but it's not. Even if he's good, it's not like, okay, Kyler, Hurts. I'm still going to rely on those guys. So let me go get the guy that I don't have to. I can just set and forget my lineup forever.
Yeah. And I think these close ones, when I have to do a little bit of projection, even though I love Jensen and he's going to smash, and it's a running back, like those two, I think I'm going JJ.
We got one up here. I think it's before your chat refreshed, so I want to make sure we hit these as well.
Classic.
But we got Becca saying, "What are your thoughts on Diggs? Is it a good time to buy?"
I do have this one.
Are you a Diggs believer?
Okay, so the Diggs thing. Here's what I'll say. My Diggs take and Pat's take is, just because the Patriots have sucked at drafting receivers doesn't mean they don't still do it. And so I could easily see them taking a receiver in the draft. I don't think what is he, 30? Is Diggs 30?
No, he's not
30. No, I'm saying, how old is Stephon Diggs?
I think he's like 30.
31, 32?
Like, yeah, he's around that.
31? Sorry, I was saying 30.
31.
He's 31. Coming off the ACL. They're hoping he's ready for week 1. I don't think it precludes, is that the word? From the Pats taking a wide receiver. But I think he's a little bit more exciting than a D-Hop to the Chiefs, is kind of the way I see him. So, like, I'm fine. I mean, I'm fine late second, take a shot in a league where late seconds don't really matter. Like, I'm fine doing that. But I'm not.
Would you rather have Jacoby Myers?
Yes.
How about Darnell Mooney?
I'm a Mooney guy. I think I'm going Mooney. Dude, I think Mooney's good. I think like we saw bad Mooney was the Justin Fields Bears. And we even saw a decent Mooney there. I'm a Mooney believer. Dude, I put on some Darnell Mooney tape. I want you guys to go watch Darnell Mooney run some routes last season. Kirk was cooked.
We need a all-will team. And it's going to be
Darnell
Breece.
Mooney.
Darnell Mooney.
Who's the tight end?
Darnell Mooney's wide receiver.
So the tight end is David Njoku. I'm a David Njoku guy till I die.
How about Cooper Kupp? Would you rather have Cooper Kupp? I feel like those are kind of fill the same role on your roster.
I did just see a TikTok about Cooper Kupp watching film with the Rams quarterbacks at 6 a.m.
He's not on the Rams though, right?
No, I'm saying like it was like he's going to the Seahawks and he's getting in that building.
He's at breakfast with Sam Darnold.
Yep, he's teaching JSN the ways. I'd probably still, I guess. I mean, it's so hard doing these player take things because those are like the same bets to me. It's like guys who are like probably in that, like maybe they're about to be D-Hop washed, like fall off the cliff production wise, consistency. I guess give me Kupp there. But the Diggs contract is nice.
That's what I was like. It's 2 years. It's 3 years, but really 2 years guaranteed. So
a lot of money.
I think it's a good contract, good offense. Probably going to earn a lot of targets.
I guess you got to go Diggs.
Bring someone else in. I think Diggs is going to get. I think Diggs is a pretty solid bet, like for his price. I got a late second. I need a guy that's not going to be Xavier Legette type of like. Hopefully he sticks. I can just go buy him and not have to worry about my flex spot.
Everyone take a drink when we mention a disappointing Panthers player.
That's that's my Breece Hall.
There you go. All right, MJ here. 12 by 10, Superflex, 2 PPR, tight end. Okay, so it's a tight end premium. Giving Laporta, Chase, Brown, Rice, and the 107 for Chase in the 202.
Laporta, Chase.
And the 107. 12 by 10.
Rashid Rice.
Yeah.
For Chase.
You're paying the piper. But it is Jamar Chase. 12 by 10.
Oh, man, he has CD, AJ Brown, Garrett Wilson, Olave, a wide receiver.
I kind of be curious about what the rest of the team looks like. This does not look like a receiver room where I like want to give up everything else I have, but I'm not a big Laporta difference maker guy. Chase Brown, Rashee Rice. I think I'm doing it.
But 2 PPR tight end. The two points per game tight end premium. I'm probably gonna end up like Rashee Rice, Laporta. I already have CD, AJ Brown, Garrett Wilson. Who knows?
Yeah,
I don't really need wide receiver, and I feel like I'm giving up probably an advantage.
Yeah,
I'm giving
up
up a lot of value
too.
here.
That's gonna be an exciting pick too in a 2 PPR. Those tight ends are probably gonna fly off.
So
yeah,
me,
you talk me out
probably
of it.
lean the package. I think that's just a lot of value, in my opinion, to give up. I know Jamar Chase had the best year ever, and that just like CD Lamb the year before, he always repeats. You can always catch lightning.
That defense ain't getting any better. That's all I'm gonna say.
That's true.
But no, I will say in these leagues, in trades where it's like Chase, JJ, Gibbs, Bijan, like the top of the top, Josh Allen, Lamar, like the top of each position, I go, can I turn around if I like if I like regret making this trade? Can I turn around and get the same package, just in different parts? Mm-hmm. And so I think maybe in a 2 tight end premium, you might say no. So I think I guess I'll go package side.
And if you want a wide receiver upgrade, go buy Nico Collins because he's cheap as hell right now.
Okay.
So if you want that, to me, I look at the rankings. I'm like 1 through 8. I'll take any of them. Like, it doesn't really matter to me.
So
I think we got one more that missed. I think we missed one.
All right.
Before the chat, so I'll
in a non-tight end. Okay, so you already got that one. The echelon.
Yeah, echelon.
Yep. I got you.
A 12 by 10 PPR Superflex, no tight end premium, got offered T-Law, your boy David Njoku, in the 206 for Baker, a 26 second, and a 305. My only tight ends are Strange and Theo Johnson, so Njoku would definitely help. QBs are May, Purdy, and Baker. Do I take it?
Yeah. I don't know where you at on here's the thing. I'm trying to turn around and sell the third quarterback. Purdy's about to get extended. I like Drake May. I'm a big third quarterback seller. So whichever one you think you can get the most for, I'm fine turning around and trading. But
I mean, probably May, right? I mean, you probably
get the most from May. Yeah. But I guess in a vacuum. So like if let's say, shout out my boy Echelon. He says, Will, you're an idiot. I want that third quarterback. When that bye week hits, I need to have a quarterback to throw in that super flex spot. It is 12 by 10, not 10 in premium. If that's the case, and it's in a vacuum, T-Law and Njoku in the 206, Baker, 26 second. Not 10 in premium. I'm kind of a T-Law. I'm kind of a T-Law believer in the sense where I think he can do what Baker did. Like, and I don't know if Baker can keep doing what Baker did. Well, maybe not what Baker did.
2 incredible years. Where
I do love Baker. I'm a Baker guy. The QB would be Baker on the Will team, I will say. I've got text to prove it. We're just not going to go through them right now. So are you going Baker here? I think
I would try to switch like Purdy or someone else. Like if I could switch Baker for Purdy, I think the value wise they're probably similar. But give me Baker any day of the week. And I do like this deal. Like you get into a shinier asset in T-Law. You get Njoku, which fits a need. Mm-hmm. And you're not really giving up much like outside of that. So you're not like paying up for, kind of a low tight end one in a non-tight end premium league.
If you see T-Law and Baker the same, which I know people don't, even though T-Law's got some steam to him, it's basically the 305 for Njoku. And it's non-tight end premium, but that's a tight end that you want to start.
Yeah, no. That's what I mean. Like, to me, I'm like, it's pretty good value. I'm hesitant to give up Baker just because he's done so well. Like, I just feel like he's probably going to be more of a difference maker. I'd probably like to hold on to him because it's kind of like a Kyler thing where it's like Kyler gets more poo than Baker. But everyone's like, oh, Kyler sucked this year. It's like, well, he was like QB 10 still. So,
again,
at a certain point, I'm like, I'll take the cheap QB 10 over the guy that people think has some he's tied to Shanahan or something like that. So I would try to. I don't hate this deal. I probably would take it if I had to, but I would try to switch out that quarterback.
Yeah, and guys, are there any third quarterback believers? I do get it. I do get wanting to have the safety, and I do get that quarterback is something that, yes, you might think it doesn't get as injured as other positions, but every year we do see a lot of quarterback injuries, missing weeks for sure. I mean, T-Law, that's a great example right there of a quarterback. But I just think the value that you're holding on to at a position you're not starting consistently, the third quarterback just is such a waste. But let me know if there's any third quarterback believers. Let me know. Let me know in the chat, and we'll keep going through these.
I go back and forth. I feel like I'm a third quarterback believer.
Get off the fence.
If it's absurd, right? Like if I can land the high elite rushing upside dudes and hoard them, I will. But if I'm just holding Baker and Purdy and Tua and Goff, I'm holding players that no one's going to pay up for.
Yeah.
So I do agree in a third quarterback, but it needs to be like a hostage situation of come on, dude, you're benching Lamar every week, and I'm yeah, what are you going to do about it?
Yeah, give me CD then. All right, John P here. 12 team, start 10 PPR. The request is for our approval, so I want you to think if you give approval. Traded Tank Bigsby, the 208 and the 310 for the 202 and the 302. Do we approve?
12 teams start 10. I mean, I'm a meh.
Yeah, I mean I think the 202.
I do think, yeah, I will say actually I do probably approve just because the tier break is usually around the mid-second. So you probably moved yourself up into a pick that at least has some value, whereas a late second has much less flexibility. And again, Tank Bigsby, I don't know. I mean, there's 100 Tanks Bigsby players in the league. So
yeah,
I do think you got the better pick there. You can use that early second to trade up if you need to, or trade back, or yeah. I think that's the actual piece that people would want.
And if you see yourself ETN goes down for 3 weeks and you're I'm not even starting Bigsby. Yeah, he's going to get 18 touches, but I don't even know if he's better projection than the other players I'm starting, then yeah, I think it's totally fine to move a player like that to move up and get that 202. And man, you never know. I'm sure we look back at some drafts. Some players slip through the cracks, man. People get excited about landing spots. Maybe you get a second round running back.
You get Tank or not Tank Bigsby.
You get Tank Bigsby.
Bucky Irving. you get Tank Bigsby back.
Sold Hall last year for Pacheco, a first and a second. All I know is pain. Hey, I will say, getting a first for a tier down, I can't harp on you for that.
A first and a second.
Yeah.
I mean, what, you traded one injured running back for another injured running back, and you got a first and a second.
All right, I'm gonna
get that. That's a win for me.
I think Breece Hall messages will no longer be highlighted, except for this one. Does Glenn saying he wants to use a 1-2-3
we'll just say,
the 3 backs scare you a little?
Next stream is Breece Hall only.
All right.
Only answering Breece Hall questions.
I will say for these future streams, we'll pull up the clips because I do want to get the exact context of what was said. But basically what I got from the Glenn quote, which was, we've got 3 backs that are good, basically was the general sentiment. We've got 3 backs that we really like, and I think he's telling the truth. I think Braylon Allen is decent. I think Isaiah Davis played pretty well last season.
Is also very good.
Yeah, but I don't think it is a 3-headed monster in the sense of alternating possessions. And I don't think it's going to be much different than we saw last season. I mean, Isaiah Davis was getting worse last season. Braylon Allen was getting worse last season, and Breece Hall, it was disappointing, but he still was a high-end RB2 you were starting every week.
Yeah, you got to pay high-end RB1 prices for RB2 production.
All right, we're gonna do this real quick. We're gonna end it on this. So you're taking Bucky Irving over Breece Hall. Is that true?
Huh?
Bucky Irving over Breece Hall.
I'm probably taking Breece.
Okay, all right. I don't think we need to go on from there. And I love Bucky. JT.
I think I like JT better, honestly.
Okay.
I just feel like
you're taking Hampton without the landing spot.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, I'm taking Hampton without the landing spot for sure.
Yeah, I can't fight on that because Breece was a late second or early second.
You just re-roll. You re-roll for. I mean, especially. I mean,
You get younger.
once we get the landing spot, like
one less
he
ACL
goes
tear.
12th to the Dallas Cowboys.
Would you be looking to sell Brian Robinson, 12 team PBR, 0.5 point per carry? What kind of compensation? Oh gosh, this is like, Washington almost certainly is adding to the running back room. I'd say almost certainly, like they probably will run it back. It might not be a like second round running back, but it's hard to believe that they don't. But everybody knows that you want to sell Brian Robinson before the draft. So what are you realistically getting for him right now?
Yeah,
Point
the sad
per
part
carry.
is if you have him, you probably kind of have him until next year. I think unless if you're like, I'll take any second, like just give me any second, like he's just kind of like an RB.
Would you treat B-Rob like we treated Tank Bigsby in that other trade and try to move up from like the early third to like mid early second?
I feel like he's more valuable than that though.
I know, but that's all you're getting though, is the thing.
Oh man.
You're not getting an early second for B-Rob right now.
I feel like I could probably get like a mid-ish second or just like a random 26 second. And I'd probably rather take that than like use a third, stick it together with him and hope to get up to the 203.
Yeah, I hate like leaving these questions like this, but I think everyone in the chat knows that like B-Rob is such a hard sell right now in this draft. Like, even if it's not as true as people are stating, it is so well known that like this is such a good deep running back class. So like a 4th round running back could be scary, especially if the teams kind of treat the draft like it is super deep, and we see them passing on running backs pick after pick.
You have to also like, this is pre-draft, like things could change like post-draft, and we're like, okay, like his world isn't shaken up too much. But right now it's like, you're not going to have someone be like, yes, I'm going to give you a 1st round pick for B-Rob.
All right, we got a live counter situation. Trade has been countered. Right now it's JJ and Pittman. And, are we invoking the name of Deshaun Watson, or is that Christian Watson? for Downs, the 101 and the 104. I think I might treat it like it's Christian Watson just because I don't want to talk about Deshaun Watson right now. Not that I want to talk about Christian Watson, but the 104.
101, 104. It always sucks to give up draft capital. Like to give up so many, like you're like sat on these picks all year.
Yeah, you're not getting credit for Penix anymore either.
Tap.
Because this was the trade where he was giving up Penix as a part of the.
Yeah, but you can kind of get someone else. Like, there's got to be someone else that's like, oh, I'd rather have Penix than Will Levis as my QB2.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Honestly, I feel like that's kind of a decent deal. Like,
it's pretty fair. I think it's pretty
side.
fair. Yeah.
And like if Pittman turns out that he's over his back issue or not his back, was it his shoulder? I think.
Yeah, I think it was back. Yeah.
But like if he just becomes like a decent wide receiver 3, low end wide receiver 2. Then like you win, because like JJ for 2 first in a class is weak, like that's free. It's hard to like, you're buying the best player in Dynasty, so you got to pay up, and a 101 and 104 I feel like is fair, and I do like Downs, but again, like you got Anthony Richardson and Daniel Jones, so I'm not gonna bet on them too much.
Yeah. Been trying to move Jalen McMillan. How do you feel about him? Jalen McMillan plus what buys me a Tila or Bryce Young? Oh, jeez. That's those like cross positional to quarterback is so interesting. Yeah, but I'll give my quick Jalen McMillan take. I think he's probably the thing is, in like 12 teams start 9, start 10, these wide receivers that obviously last season you'll talk about no Chris Godwin. You could talk about a lot of the production coming from touchdowns. We both love Baker, and I still like the offense, but they're going to run it back. Obviously, Chris Godwin and Mike Evans, you're starting to hit that age out, but just got re-signed with Godwin. I think Jalen McMillan is probably going to fall into that tier of like receivers you want to be excited about because they're young, but that doesn't mean that they're going to progressively produce better or are more consistent. Like I'm thinking like what is the high end outcome for McMillan? Like Jordan Addison.
So it's like, I feel like it's like a. I don't even know if I would go that far because like Addison had high draft capital.
Yeah, I'm talking a high end of like what's the best case for Jalen McMillan.
Like, I don't know. I mean, I feel like it like a Cortland Sutton or something like that, where it's like not like a sexy name, but like a guy that has a role and like will have some hot streaks. Yeah, like my guy Jacoby Myers. You know, this is a pro
Jacoby Myers stream.
Yes, that would be on my all-star team is Jacoby Myers. I mean, I don't hate him. I do think he's steamed up a lot. Like he's kind of like he's like the Buccaneers players. People love Bucky Irving, they love McMillan, but things can change. You know, I don't know. Maybe like what you're not going to get a first anymore for him. You could probably have gotten a late first.
Let's do the Jalen McMillan. All right, he's got his heart set, and I don't know. Do you want to do Bryce Young or T. Law? I'll let you pick.
Oh yeah, Bryce or T. I feel like Bryce
is cheaper. For sure.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like you could just toss like a third, or like just be like, hey, here's a random player. Like,
would you do Jalen McMillan and a late second for Bryce pretty easily?
Oh, I would definitely take the McMillan side on that.
Okay.
I feel like you might be able to just get him 1-for-1, or just toss him like a Gardner Minshew.
No, I don't know. I thought Bryce was getting some steam in the streets. Maybe he's not. Had a decent end of last season.
He definitely looked better, but I'm also like I think
what are you actually getting when you buy him?
Yeah, like I don't think his fantasy upside's anymore. Like his ceiling is probably like I don't even know what his ceiling would be. It'd be like Russell Wilson.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm like, yeah, he's a QB2 ceiling.
Yeah.
I think T-Law would be a second. I feel like you could probably get a late second and get T-Law, in my opinion.
Ooh, a lot of keep Bakers. And I kind of agree with the sentiment. This was going back to the Baker, Drake May, that QB room, Purdy. We were talking about moving off the third one. You definitely get more for. I mean, and this isn't even I don't like May, but it's just like when you have those three quarterbacks and you actually do, like, I know we talk about replaceable QB2s, but I think Baker and Purdy both can fall into that, low end QB1 consistently that we saw last season with Baker and we've seen from Purdy. But I don't know how high you are on Purdy. I think I got the sentiment that you were a little bit lower on Purdy than I thought you'd be, but I'm still my third QB all day. Tony gets it.
I'm a little concerned that offense is like restructuring a little.
Okay.
And when I compare, like, I do think that QB room, you do have like three guys that are probably low end QB ones, but I'm not trying to move Baker. Like, if I have to keep one of them, Baker is probably seen as the cheapest one too. But to me, I'm like, I mean, the dude is literally like QB6 last year.
Mm-hmm. I kind of want to touch on Dak real quick. So we're getting some three QB chats from this is from a little bit ago. I'll catch up to the messages, but we'll run through these real quick. Where are we at on Dak? I saw a Discord trade actually. I kind of want to pull it up because so Dak, Kittle, and a 26 first. Okay, mm-hmm. Dak, Kittle, and 26 first for Justin Fields, James Cook, and a 26 second.
What was the first part again?
Dak, Kittle, and a 26 first.
Oh, I'm definitely taking that side.
Oh yeah, I saw that trade. I was like, dude, the first and the second are swapped. Like, yeah. and maybe I wouldn't do it, but yeah, no, I was like, man. And then I looked at Dak. I pulled up our good friends. You can see the on Dynasty Daddy. You can see the KeepTradeCut rankings. But man, your boy Bryce Young, QB 21. Dak Prescott, QB 22.
What? That's
slim down Dak.
It's April Fools. You can't trust anything. That's crazy. I mean, he's 2 years removed from being like wide receiver. What was it? Not wide receiver, quarterback like 2 or something. I mean, he basically had Baker's year this year, where it's just like out of nowhere, he just was dominating.
This is interesting. I'd be curious. So this is Echelon had talked about whole league I'm in very big on having 3 QBs. So I think that is kind of interesting. Like that changes the market if that actually is how players are valued. But also in the same vein, to me, while you might think, oh, the scarcity, but if your QB room is, you feel okay about it, and even if the QB2 is replaceable, it's cheap enough. I think that makes me think that you can get value for that third quarterback if teams like having the third quarterback. Because that's the only issue I found with having 3 QBs is I try to go to other teams and I really have to filter. I'm going on Dynasty Daddy. Let me see what QB 12. Nah, he won't do it. QB 11. Okay, he might do it. Like the positional rankings and everything. But I'd kind of be curious, like, what does got punished mean? Because for me, like, I think you can kind of roster construct with interesting backup quarterbacks is one thing, especially in a league that does value the quarterback position. Interesting backups. And then 2, in a like 12 team, like start 9 or start 10, like you probably have players on your bench that you like, okay, yes, insert, running back who has a solid role for 1 week versus having a third quarterback. Like, of course, I'd rather have the quarterback to throw in there. But just from a consistency throughout the season, in the season-long game, I'd rather have the stronger roster being able to move off of one of those quarterbacks to tier up at wide receiver or something.
Yeah, I always feel like the quarterback one's hard it's hard to move. And when moving that third quarterback, I've had the most success. Kind of just like I have like a incubator where I just incubate, I rehab a third quarterback, and then when they're good, I just buy another distressed quarterback and just let them marinate until someone wants to buy it.
Oh my gosh, sorry. I almost choked. They sell for so much during the season. Someone bought Flacco mid-season for 26 first last year, believe it or not.
Well, I guess was that 2 years ago?
I mean, even 2 years ago.
2 years ago, he was like
QB1
during the playoffs.
Yes, yeah, for sure. But jeez, man, I might do a spectate at a 26 second. But roster
I do like to do the like take a player that no one wants, like Anthony Richardson, sit him as my QB3, Justin Fields, and then Justin Fields signs with the Jets. Okay, now let me go out and buy Anthony Richardson or someone like that.
Yeah, the Flacco throws me for a loop.
Get a tear down.
Yeah, the Flacco thing throws me through a loop, but I do like that because to me, when I see 3 quarterback, it's kind of that scared mentality of like, I want to have 3 quarterbacks that I know are going to be starting so that I never have to worry about a bye week. I never have to worry about an injury. And it's like, I just think you're just losing so much, not just value, but scoring.
I just pick up seconds and things like that. But like in general, like I feel like it is hard to be like, oh, I have, like a Penix, like give me a good wide receiver. Everyone's like, okay, you have 3 quarterbers.
You have to kind of tear up.
You can go to a team that like has been holding on to the Levis bag, and you're like, okay, I'll take Will Levis and a late first, or like you could do like Penix in a third, and like make some deal where you get like a little shiny piece on top of it, and he's like, okay, cool, like I just upgrade my quarterback.
Yeah,
so something like that.
JJ for the 101 and the 104. So this is the little simplified offer from the Pittman one.
The simplified. Okay, it was Christian Watson.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, Echo Mike. Yeah, we need to talk to the good boys at Veto Ninja. I'm gonna say this is 50% Will, 50%. We'll figure it out though. Third stream's the charm, right? First one, my audio was low. Second stream, we get the random Echo Mike, but you guys are here, and that's I appreciate it. But if JJ's Justin Jefferson, that's not enough. Yeah, I'm in the same camp. Just 12 teams start 10.
For the JJ and the 2 first?
Yeah, JJ for a 101 and 104. You're getting Genty and I could see myself doing it if it's like a 12. It's like a start 11. Like we're getting like pretty deep. I could definitely see myself doing that but no, I think I'd really have to push myself.
It's hard.
To do
you
that.
Just gotta,
especially the wide receiver, man.
I mean, JJ, like when has JJ not been a top 2 wide receiver? Like I think it was like 5 years ago.
Yeah. Yep. All right, rebuilding 12-team Superflex 103 or the 109, 111. Okay, 103, the 109, and 111 has the 105 and the 107. I'm curious how many starters, but I probably am still just going the 103.
Yeah, I mean, I guess so. So it's a 109 to 111 for the 103, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would definitely do that. You're jumping up multiple tiers with that. I mean, you're looking at like, I hope Luther Burden pays off or something like that, versus, oh, cool, like I get Tet or Cam or maybe Hampton if someone goes crazy. So especially in a rebuilder, you just need as many high quality shots, and you're gonna have a 3, a 5, a 7. You're gonna be able to just scoop up all the value.
Yeah, and I know the rebuilding probably gives a little bit more credence to, maybe I should, get more picks. I'm coming out of a rebuild. I just want to take some shots, but I think it's moving out a little bit too far. And I know we get excited. We do this thing where, and I'm excited about these players too. We get excited. We do these rookie mocks. We look at the 109 to 111, and we go, oh my gosh, Matthew Golden, taken in the first round, top 15 pick. I can get him at the 109, or, Colson Loveland's on the Chargers. Like, let's go. And it's like, well, yes, we're excited, but that 103, hard for me to believe you can't do this move after the NFL draft. Tearing back from the 103 to 2 late firsts.
Yeah, you can definitely go back. You can get 2 late firsts for the 103 at any time. So
sure.
I would definitely tier up. And then you can also say, hey, I actually don't like the 103. Now you have the 103, you can go trade for someone else that you like more. Whereas like go and be like, hey, you want the 111? They're like, okay, like, it's like that meme where it's like the hot guy like flirting with that person in the office, and it's like, oh, nice, and it's like, oh, the 111. And it's like, ew, get away. Like, people want the 103. People don't want the 111.
Yeah, for sure. All right, JJ is him. All right, okay, I do. JJ is him. But I will say, I don't want to call the 101 and 104 trade like terrible for even somebody like JJ, because we are pretty consistently projecting a top 7 running back pick who had like an incredible rookie season. And if Genty is 80% CMC for 6 years, gets a second contract, like that's pretty nice
80,
too.
80% the best fantasy running back since LT.
What I gotta go 60? Are you doing it if I give you 60% CMC?
I just feel like even if I'm not sold on like JJ, 2 first for JJ, I can always move them, sell them, tear down. I mean, you could take JJ and be like, okay, I think JJ and CD Lamb are the same. Okay, go get CD Lamb in the first for like there's so much flexibility with JJ. Like if he's available, you basically say, just tell me what you want, and then I'll figure out how to deal with the rest.
Mm-hmm. All right, this is we're sticking with this. Okay, so wait, real quick. This one was a start 10. This was the rebuilding trade.
Yeah,
for the 103. Trade. Yeah, 103 for sure. All right, tons of seconds. But what am I gonna do with them? Like I could take JJ and then hammer running backs in the second, or trade a couple for futures, I suppose. Yeah, this is another thing too. I think I don't think. Well, another thing, Will's cop-out answer, especially tiering, moving back for future seconds. Like if it doesn't make sense for you to take shots, just the way of roster construction, you like having the flexibility, trading for producers in season. I mean, even still after the NFL draft, there'll be players people are excited to take early mid second for sure. Especially in this draft with running backs projected to get good landing spots.
Yeah, and one thing I love to do as well is like when your team is really good, like I'll do roster reviews and someone's like, my team's perfect, right? It's just number ones across the board everywhere. And it's like, if you can, like at that point, the whole strategy should just be, okay, like just kick things to the future. So 2027 first is all of a sudden super valuable if your team is loaded with draft picks, loaded with talent. Like, because then, it's like you have a train going, you're putting the tracks down. Like, you want to make sure that by 2027, you still have the flexibility to make moves instead of just like stockpiling gold and then hoping that, you didn't actually, stockpile like rocks. So I'm definitely, like, I'm all for trading for futures. I think too, in a trade like this, like you trade up a lot. You trade a lot for a CD. Use those seconds to go buy our favorite players. A James Conner, Aaron Jones, Breece Hall. Some people think he's worth a second now.
I have to Dynasty Daddy therapist. I'm using the stream for my own trades. I have a 12 team start 9 where I am
Okay.
loaded at running back. Breece Hall, obviously loaded at running back. Bucky Irving, hit on him this last draft. And then I've got the classic oldies but goodies. I have Kamara, James Conner, and David Montgomery. Like just the running back room where it's like I need to get off of these guys. So I traded Connor for the 207, 12-team start 9. I think it's a good deal for the 207 guy. Like I think
I do think it's a good deal for him. I will say I don't hate it because it's like, again, like you have so much talent. So you're kind of just hoarding. I would have preferred probably like a 26 first or second. Not first, but a second, just because it's like, okay, like mid-season an injury goes down, and now I'm like, oh crap, like I drafted, JD Giddens with this second, like that doesn't fit. So like that would be my ideal move, is to get that future just so I have that Band-Aid. But I think when you're loaded like that, like sometimes you just got to make a move that hurts, but you get some value.
Additional context, it's a home league, and I think one guy watches college football. Absolute, just these guys are filtered by those sleeper rankings, and maybe taking a shot if they've heard of one of the guys.
So Jackson Dart's going to go all the way up the top because he has a cool name.
Yeah. Oh, I had never mind. I don't want to get too into it. I'm going to cry. All right, Clay, we got here. Would y'all do CeeDee Lamb for James Cook, 26 first, and the 308? It is a Superflex start 10, half PPR for running backs, 10 and premium. I'm probably just holding CD. I'm not a big buy James Cook guy. I think he probably does get a contract to stay in Buffalo. But, yeah, I don't know. Like good production last season, but could easily not be as repeatable. A lot of long touchdowns. I think he is good, but I don't think he is like pay up and move off of CeeDee Lamb good.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think I would need like the next tier up. Like if it was like a Jonathan Taylor or like a Breece Hall or even like a Bucky, I would say like I could see it a little bit. But
half
for me,
PPR for
like,
running backs too.
Yeah, like Lamb is one of the guys. I mean, literally last year he was like wide receiver 1. Like in Dynasty, like it's so easy for him to have Dak come back and have all of a sudden their offense is fixed and everything is beautiful. It's so easy for that situation to improve, and we saw kind of what a bad looking situation would be, and he was still, a mid to low end wide receiver 1. So
yeah,
I'm not really moving them off, especially in the half PPR for running back type.
Yeah, format. And it too. I think. Dynasty is a yearly game. It's a weekly game value wise, but 3 years from now, we're hard to believe that CeeDee Lamb is still not being ranked in the first couple rounds of redraft. James Cook could be any wide range of didn't get the second contract or did, but it was a bad situation. He's with another running back. He's splitting touches because he wanted to get more money outside of Buffalo. There's just a lot that can go wrong, especially in a half PPR.
Yeah, Buffalo figures out how to do a tush push correctly.
Yeah,
so
but I like these moves.
So
this is trading. He's trying to get CD. I do like these moves. I think, especially in these leagues, like 12 teams start 10 too, especially like moving off of a running back where you can so easily replace that with, we talk about all the time, the Aaron Jones, James Connors, Joe Mixons of the world. Going and trading away a first hurts, but man, if you're getting CeeDee Lamb at the other end of it, it hurts a lot less.
No, that's one of those deals. Like sometimes you just got to bite the bullet, and you're like, oh well, like I am giving up a first. I have, given up the leverage or whatever because it's a player to pick and all that. But you are tearing up into literally like a premium piece. Something that you set on your roster, and you're like, cool. Like I will never have to worry about my wide receiver 1 for like 3 years. And then you can always cash out if you need to. Your team falls apart, tear down off of CeeDee Lamb. Or, he has another wide receiver 1 year, and then you tear down off of him and pick up, a Hall.
Yeah.
That's what you should be doing. And so it's someone like a James Cook. This was his breakout year. This was his year where he was a top RB. So you should be looking to cash out on that value.
Yeah. Couldn't have said it better myself. I'm a big how can I cash out of this if I want to? You know, we can talk about the flexibility of future first, 100%. Like that just doesn't need to be stated. But how about the flexibility of the top 3 dynasty wide receiver?
Those are the things where people always want. Like, there's very few players that people will always like. You know, anyone can shoot me a DM and they're like, oh, like you want Tua, and I'm like, yeah, I don't need that. But if they're like, oh, you want CeeDee Lamb, I'm like, okay, I'm instantly, gonna look at that trade. There's some interest in that.
Yeah. All right. Who we got for QB 3 and 4? I think Sean said it here. I think the draft buzz. It looks like Jackson Dart has a chance to be, first round quarterback, at least early second, Will Levis range. I think we're on the same page there. I think QB 4. I know Sean he talks about Tyler Shuck here. I think you're a Milrow guy, aren't you? With the rookie draft video and just kind of the upside of what he could do if he does get a chance.
Especially in that range. In that range where you're going to probably be picking them. Yeah, I mean, like, I will say Jalen Hurts, I like way more coming out of college, but still, like, he kind of had this similar stink to him where you're like, oh, all he can do is run, and he just has a big arm, but it's not accurate and all that stuff. But if he figures it out, you do have the best piece that you can possibly get, which is that high rushing upside quarterback that's going to get, dominate the ground as well. And so to me, I think there's a big gap. Like, I think 1-2 is going to be Sanders and Ward. And then I think you kind of have Dart and Milrow kind of in that same tier 2 of like maybe second round. Like if he figures it out, I'm willing to take that risk.
Yeah, we got Milrow's interesting. Unfortunately, I watched him play. No thanks. Here's what I will say. I mean, the NFL. I mean, I'm not gonna pretend like I am the QB whisperer. Like I've had quarterbacks I thought were gonna be a lot better than they were. I've had quarterbacks that I thought had the tools. Will Levis, really? I was a Will Levis believer. You get these quarterbacks who I think have the tools and get that capital where it's like he's gonna start. Like they're going to give him a season and a half. They're going to give him 2 seasons. And that's how I was with Will Levis. And unfortunately, the tools did not correlate to good quarterback play, as they are probably taking Cam Ward here. We've got, I believe this is a league I'm in. Which side wins in a 12-team Superflex? Breece and Devontae Adams, or Jonathan Taylor, Mark Andrews, and Jalen Coker. So it is also a 1.5.
A 1.5.
Tight end premium. Yeah.
Is it PPR?
And the PPR. And the Andrews guy is a start 10, and the Andrews guy has TJ Hawkinson also.
Okay. You know what? There's been a lot of talk about this player today, but I'm taking the Breece side. Give me Breece. Give me Breece and Adams. I mean, I think Adams is... There's no offense that targets, like hyper targets, their players more than the Rams, and then you're literally like, oh, Devontae Adams, like plop them into that offense. To me, I mean, that's like easily the best bargain you can get. And then you add in the upgrade at running back. So we got a power pose there.
Well, we've got a don't guess up the Breece and Adams side, because I'm the JT Andrews Coker side. That would be getting Breece and Adams, but I think it's fairly fair. But I'd take the Breece and Adams side. So if that offers in my inbox tonight, Ferd, I'll hit accept live on stream. I'll show it on.
He's gonna add an extra second for it now.
Thanks for helping my stock go up. He's gonna. I knew it.
I was about to say now the value is more. He's like, I need a late first on top of that.
Yeah. Now that I think about it, I'm a big JT guy. I'm a big Coker. Are you a Cokehead? Where are you at on Coker? Does he have a shot to be a player you're starting in a 12-team start 10?
12-team start 10.
What are the chances that KTC he's a wide receiver? Let's see ADP Daddy.
I think to me he's just a sell. Because like I shouldn't have asked. I wouldn't buy him.
Yeah, I think he is like a throw-in that can move the needle to get a trade done. I think like is kind of his like 12-team start 9, start 10, start 11 value. But I think his best case scenario is probably like where Jacoby Myers has been for the past couple seasons, where it's like, oh man, he's actually like producing.
Yeah, like oh wow, he had a couple good weeks. Like I think he'll be solid, but Yeah, I mean, to me, I'm like, there's no way I can pay for that price right now. If I have them, I'm selling them. Like, there's just too much steam. I do think, I will say, as a Panther fan, I do think he will have a role this year. I don't think it will be a significant role, but I also just don't see the Panthers really investing at high-end wide receiver. Like, we don't have a ton of cap space. We don't have a ton of picks. We have a terrible defense. Yeah, like I figure we're probably just going to run with Thielen and Leggett and Sanders and Coker. So I do think he'll be on the field. He'll have a couple good weeks, but I'm not expecting him to become this dynasty darling that, like, you know, he's not going to be Amon-Ra St. Brown. Let's pump the brakes.
Yeah. I'm pretty much with that. He doesn't have that holy cross buff. But Clay here, I appreciate y'all's feedback for sure. Appreciate you hanging out on the stream. P.S. I use y'all sites like it's the Bible. I will say I
appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you. And I say thank you as the guy who's just on here yapping, have nothing to do with the actual site development. But no, I love Dynasty Daddy. I think like the tools, I think the most basic, like really easy thing that I used it initially for was being able to like quick glance view the entire league positionally and get a feel for like just like trade options. Because I used to like kind of go through and I would have to kind of keep tabs on, you know, how I felt like other teams were positionally ranked. But you know it, we all know it, and like you have to kind of get in the heads of other dynasty managers. You look at your team, like people who are really into dynasty, and you're like, man, I'm kind of weak at X position. Like I really could use this. And like, yes, it's April, but like people that are so into dynasty and into fantasy and are in these dynasty leagues, like they want to have that nice looking roster. So like that's how you like open yourself to get deals done is, you know, using tools like that to get in the head of other dynasty managers.
Well, yeah, and I think too, like, I mean, when I first started playing Dynasty, I had like a million tabs open, and I'm like, how do people do this? I'm like, I'm in one league, and like I know my team, but it's like I don't know everyone else's team, and like, so it's, yeah, part of it was like, okay, like how do I just have a team say, okay, I have my third QB, I want to sell my third QB. What teams could I quickly pull up and figure out? Okay, this is something I should dive into, figure out something that works for both sides. Because you can't just be like, oh, this team has 3 QBs, I'm going to send them a random QB. Like, yeah, it kind of filters out dumb trades and you know, makes it more efficient. And something too I recently added, so like with our new Dynasty Daddy accounts, where I have a free tier, so you can sync all your leagues, it will automatically pull up your like
your roster when you load up the power ranking tool. So I added all that in. So now when you change your league, it'll be like, oh, like here's your roster. So you don't even have to click it anymore. It will just be expanded for you automatically.
Yeah, man. And it's the stuff that gets added, and in the Discord too, like being able to request site features. I mean, this site is developed by a big old Dynasty nerd for big old Dynasty nerds. Like that is just like the best. But shout out Sean here. If you haven't tried the Dynasty Data Club, it's worth money for the ad-free experience, extra tools and features you get.
I appreciate it, Sean. Yes, I am. I am working on adding even more to the club, especially with these new accounts I've been rolling out. So I'm excited to continue to add value there. You know, I do think one thing is like obviously you have a site. It's, you know, you want to be able to support it. So I do need to run ads. But when I initially was going to start running ads, I was like, I have to add a way for people to have an ad-free experience. I feel like that's just a way to be respectful of the people that I know that use my site a ton. You know, so that is definitely something I love about it.
Mrs. here, Kyle Miller was a great lottery ticket for teams not needing quarterback. Big on him. Yeah, I think. Actually, we didn't touch on this, but it sounds like the Colts quarterback competition, the word buzz was it is going to be equal starter reps, you know, in camp and leading up to things. I'm sure we'll see. I'm sure those will be, for Dynasty nerds, the most watched preseason games, the Colts preseason games, the Daniel Jones versus Anthony Richardson battle. But I think, you know, you talk about teams like that where like the QB situation is like so up in the air, and you know, maybe you don't want to go mill row after just, you know, feeling like you missed on Anthony Richardson. And I don't know, hard for me to believe. And this is the team that benched Richardson for Flacco. So I don't want to close things up, but it's just so hard for me to believe after what we've seen of Daniel Jones that the Colts want to make that their plan for next season and not give Richardson another year.
I think it's all show. But I also personally think it's absurd what the Colts organization has done for Anthony Richardson. Like in general, like I know he's been injured, and I know he has a lot of issues, but you also bought into the hype of this young dude that is. I mean, he was 21 coming into the league. He's played 15 games, I think, college and high school. So I mean, this dude is so raw. You throw him in instantly, and then now you're like, oh, like after 12 games, he's not a good passer. Like, what do you think, man? Like,
Yeah.
I'm just like, yeah, like that's not how you're gonna build like a friend. Like to me, I'm like, it's kind of a mulligan. Like I'm like, I don't really know. Like, my concern for him is like the injury stuff, and I know people soured on him because he like tapped himself out in that game, but like, I don't know. Like, the dude's still like 23. Like, to me, I'm just sitting there. I'm like, why would you pick the 104, draft him? And then be like, yeah, we actually expect you to be a perfectly refined quarterback coming in right away.
Yeah.
Like, I don't get that at all. Like, that was just so mismanaged.
Yeah, I wonder if my only, I mean, I don't want to assume rationality in the NFL, head coaching or just anything, but it's one of those things where it's like, man, there has to be something where it was like, he was just a huge like D-bag or something, or really wasn't putting in the work, or like refused to come into 7 a.m. quarterback meetings to go through things, like something like there. And then they do the benching and it's like, yeah, now he's starting to do stuff. That's like my only thing that I can like rationalize. There we go.
There's a word.
But yeah, no, it's we don't just spend too much time talking about Daniel Jones, but I don't know. What do you think? You have to pick right now. How many games is Daniel Jones starting for the Indianapolis Colts next season?
I mean, I think if they're both healthy, I would say 0.
Yeah,
because I think
that's what it should be.
Like Ballard and Steichen, I think I said it right. Both of them, like their entire jobs, like you roll out Daniel Jones, you win 4 games, and you're getting fired. So it's like you have to play Anthony Richardson to have it matter. But other than that, like I do think Anthony Richardson's injury issues are a concern. So to say he won't play any, like he might come in during injuries, but I just don't. I don't see how
if Richardson gets
sense.
Tired.
Or if they just trade him. I mean, people are like, oh, what if they trade Anthony Richardson? Because we need to give Daniel Jones another shot.
Danny Dimes injury. Yeah. I don't know if there was, are we any big, I know we're kind of running to the end of the live stream. Let us know if there's any trades you want us to go through and close out on. Any new stuff we missed? I know we kind of quickly, we didn't really talk much about Russ on the Giants. I don't know.
That situation was fun.
Yeah, I guess probably honestly the funny thing is Russ is probably the more impactful conversation to have than Neighbors, just because I don't think this, like, I don't know, do you think there's any change in wanting to cash out on Neighbors or being able to buy Neighbors? I think he probably just is what he was. If not, you feel slightly better about the Giants at least having I mean, I got really excited for Jameis but that was backup quarterback money as soon as that came in.
Everyone was excited for Jameis. And that was funny. I remember, I think the Russ signing happened right before, I think it was right before I went live last week. But yeah, I mean, I think it doesn't change. I mean, I think if anything, his value got bumped a little bit from the Winston signing. I think it's probably just going to stay the same because he had Daniel Jones before. Like it's not like both of those players are upgrades from where he was at. Yeah. And it's Neighbors. I mean, Neighbors put up a phenomenal year. So I'm not too concerned about, like, oh, what QB3 that they signed that is going to all of a sudden make Neighbors even better than the wide receiver 3 that he's currently valued at, which is probably a little high. But, to me, I'm like, cool. Like, it's something I would probably do if I was the Giants. I'm like, okay, I missed out on a lot of big guys. I don't want to deal with the Aaron Rodgers circus. Let me just basically do what the Steelers did last year and bring in 2 guys and be like, okay, one of them will figure it out and then we can roll with that.
Yeah, to me it's a nice floor. Like, we're not going to be getting the Tommy DeVito a Drew Lock last season situation for Neighbors, which is nice to have. Like, we have a reasonable fantasy producing quarterback, even if you don't love Russ or, Jameis throws a bunch of picks. But I think what it probably signals to me is that the Giants are pretty confident they're not going to be able to get Cam Ward, and maybe they don't. I think they could still take Shador. Like, I don't think that's like out of the realm of possibility, but I think at 4, I think the top end talent of this draft with Travis Hunter, Abdul Carter, Cam Ward as well. I think there's enough players that the Giants didn't want to lock themselves into taking Shador if they don't love Shador. And I still think he's a first round quarterback, but I think there's a chance he's a where Kenny Pickett went in his draft, like, closer to that 15 to 20 than a team taking him at 4 just because they need a quarterback. And I think that's probably the Giants didn't want to back themselves into that situation.
Yeah, I agree with that. I don't think the Giants are going to take a quarterback. And I think basically they're like, okay, here's me, the armchair GM. But, you kind of have like 3 top players, right? It's Cam Ward you're going to miss out on because I think the Titans fell in love with him. And then you got Carter and Hunter. And it's like, cool, you can just take whoever falls to you. I do think it'll be interesting if Hunter goes at 2, because then you have Carter, you just signed Burns, like it's a little bit crowded there.
I'm hijacking the combo. Can we do the Travis Hunter thing for a second? I don't know if anybody does pre-rookie drafts. I'm fully in, man. I think this is like a cryptocurrency. You got in at Bitcoin at in 1998 situation. Getting Travis Hunter at the late first right now in pre-NFL draft rookie drafts. I know the fear of the playing too many defensive snaps, but man, it is just so hard for me to believe where I think he's going top 4. I think that is just a lock. I think that it's just going to happen. Blue chip player, ability to play both sides of the ball, and I think all 4 potential spots. And I don't think he's going Titans. Like, I think the Titans are probably going Ward. So if you look at Titans, Browns, Patriots, Giants, I think all of those situations you could. I mean, I think the Browns GM had already said they see him as a wide receiver. I don't necessarily think that like locks him into like 80% wide receiver snaps. Hunter is a cheat code. I think like the Matt Harmon reception perception came out and it told you what we already know.
Freaking out.
Yeah, I just, it is so, even if it is just packages, like think about how many targets high-end wide receivers get in the like dynasty wide receivers are getting. Like if you're getting like 10 targets a game, like that is like very solid. You can have elite low-end wide receiver 1 production if you're getting that consistently, for sure. So even if it is, man, if I told you Hunter was going to play 65% wide receiver snaps, are you taking him late first? Like every single time?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I feel like and that's the hard part, is we're just not going to know. Like, even
and no team's going to tell us.
Literally drafting week 3 or something, like you're going to be like,
he wants to. He wants to play receiver. Like, he wants to play receiver, and like, yes, he's not ultimately going to make the decision. He wants to do both. Yes,
that's
for
the
sure.
hard part. Is he's not being like, I want to be a wide receiver. He's like, I want to kind of do both, and that's the hard part. Because I sit there and I'm like, do you take him in the mid, like with a mid first? And I'm like, I don't know. Like, there's enough talent.
He's just like he's wide receiver 1. If he was, I only want to play wide receiver, like he's the 102 for me. If he was like 100%, I want to play wide receiver. You think you could even make a case he's a 101? Like, I think he is like that good.
I don't know about 101. This is GT. This is got Hampton in there.
There's no reason for you to do that because we're not going to get that. So like, I don't even think it's worthwhile having the conversation. So I'm not going to push back. But man, I think he is like Justin Jefferson smooth. And maybe not like as elite of a route runner. And I mean, not that Jefferson was necessarily seen as that coming out of college, and we just kind of saw it the first season in the NFL. But man, the like ball tracking with the athleticism, with people I trust more than myself to analyze kind of the reception perception.
It's definitely like going to be.
I'm a crypto bro.
Like all eyes in on him, because it's just like I have no idea. Like when people ask me, I'm like I don't really know. Like because it's something of like, yes, I believe in the talent, but again, it just comes down to usage. And it's like it's not even like usage like he needs to earn his targets. It's like I know he'll earn his targets. It's like I don't even know how many opportunities to earn targets he'll have.
Somebody is getting fired multiple people are getting fired if the 4-10 Browns or the 5-9 Patriots are down 17 points in the third and they're not giving Travis Hunter snaps at wide receiver. Like, somebody's getting fired. It's just or
That's why,
I could do the Giants too.
If he lands at a spot that has a lot of cornerback depth too, that would be ideal.
Yeah, I think the Browns
don't
have talked
really
themselves into it. We got Denzel Ward. I think Patriots, Christian Gonzalez. I think, and I don't even think it's necessarily. I know a lot of people talk about what he had to do. I think the sentiment I've heard, and this is kind of just me regurgitating what I've heard from other people, but I know the sentiment was you just have to be in defensive meetings. Leading up to the week, it's just more important for all the different aspects. And then I think in Colorado, a lot of it was he just was told routes, and it wasn't necessarily here, basic audibles, basic routes. This is what you're doing. And man, you're just I think there's a way to do obvious passing situations. You're putting him out there, but I just think there's a chance that he's playing 60% wide receiver snaps. And I think I'm taking that versus, a mid or late second running back, or round running back, or, Luther Burden.
Ohio State guys. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
what are the odds? Yeah. I mean, look back at some other wide receivers. Would you rather have, Jordan Addison is probably that kind of range of late first wide receiver is probably the conversation you would have of who would you rather have, the bet on Travis Hunter or a Jordan Addison? Who was kind of
if Burden went 25.
I'm not Golden. I'm kind of a Ibuka coded, but
yeah, if Ibuka went 18, would you take him over Hunter, or is it just nope?
You're not going to give me any blurbs. I'm not getting any. The Brian Dayball's can't wait to utilize this weapon. I don't get any of that.
You need the preseason little hype.
I just need one bomb he catches against a third string quarterback. That's all.
That depends when your rookie draft is. That's where it all matters. Right?
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Is right now. I'm sure we'll get something. It's hard to believe we don't get something, even if it's not. Here's how many teams. We're not going to get, he's going to be a primary wide receiver. We're probably not going to get that. We're going to get, he's going to be used on both sides of the ball because, of course, they're going to say that.
I have an easy fix. Just make all your leagues IDP.
Oh, gosh. I am in no IDP. Are you in any IDP?
I'm in 2, I think. But they're both, kind of wonky. They're not, true IDP, super deep advanced settings. It's just kind of wonky settings, and you start 4.
I would need to do something little like that. I've done IDP redraft before just to dip my toes in, but I just know I'm losing. It's a negative EV. It's a minus WAR. Will's understanding of defensive
it's
defensive scoring.
It's very much like me just looking at how many snaps linebackers took and their trends, and I'm okay, I need to pick up these guys, and I'm okay, I need to drop these guys, and you just everyone scores the same, so you're okay, well, I just hope I get lucky. But it's kind of fun when you're watching the game and your player gets a sack and you're that was
let's go,
that was a touchdown.
Yeah. No, I'm an 8 screen. I got 2 monitors up. I've got every box quadded up there, sitting in my office chair, and I'll let people be dude, why do you do that? How do you do that? And I'm I need to know. I'm too obsessive. I need to know when Deebo Samuel got a 6-yard rush. I need to know that. You
need a more granular red zone. You're oh, big play here. Deebo got a 2-yard rush.
Dude, that's going to be the thing. Personalized red zone for you can filter. Oh, okay. I'm getting a little too into it. That's the future. I'm gonna nobody take that.
Red zone where you can be
me.
Here's my fantasy roster. Tell me if
big 4-yard carry for Aaron Jones. That's point.
Here's the people I play.
Felt the same way about IDP. Never done it, but I want to. I do want to, and I feel above the average person. So in my home league, it would be plus EV for me to play IDP. I am more ingrained in the NFL, even though obviously I'm way more focused on offensive players. But it's just just the idea of like playing with people who are really into IDP.
Yeah, that's
how's the IDP? How's the IDP? I mean, the IDP war. Like, I know it's you feel. I don't know. This is kind of a weird question. I have no understanding, or I've looked at it at all. But have you like checked or looked at like war IDP compared to positional? Is there any like leagues that you're in that you've looked at that are like, oh my gosh, like I feel like that could be a thing where it's like, why would I ever draft a defensive player? Why don't I just like pick off waivers if I'm only starting one or two? And
like you have to really tinker with the war to make it make sense. Most of the leagues I'm in, it's literally like, okay, like I have Myles Garrett, it's worth nothing. Like I can't even go get a third for him. But like you got to do like a start. You have to have like 11 of them. You have to be freaky with your IDP to actually make it matter.
Whoa. Okay, we got a 12-man Superflex Titan Premium League. Just had the following trade vetoed. Before we get into this, where you at on vetoes? Okay. I think it has to be collusion, especially in Dynasty.
If there's a veto, it literally needs to be like something that the league would fold. Like it needs to be like, this is it. Like
anytime the trade would be brought up, it'd be like, just terrible. Is the veto justified? All right, this is the trade. DK Metcalf, Cortland Sutton, and Debo. This is a 12-man for CeeDee Lamb. Obviously, I'm taking the CeeDee Lamb side.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think it's a fleece.
I think it is a fleece, but I mean, unless it's like, I don't even think unless. I think even like a 12-team start 10.
I think it's fine.
I mean, Sutton. Look at Sutton the past couple seasons. You could talk yourself into being excited about Debo, who has been. I mean, only like 2 seasons removed from having a top 10 season.
I mean, what if it's like a start 12?
Yeah, I think even in a start 9 too, you can talk yourself into I'm getting like 3 players these are 3 players you would start in it. Like it would not be crazy for you to start DK, Sutton, and Debo in a 12-team start 10, right?
Here's the issue too with vetoes, and I know a lot of people too, like the commissioner plays in the league a lot of times and also can veto, or it's like voted, right? And then it's like
I'm in one vote league.
Like if I have the best team, if I go into dynastydaddy.com and I log in my thing and it says super team and there's a trade that my contender is going to make, I'm just going to like, everyone's going to hammer no. Like I'm going to be like, I like how the league is right now. I don't want there to be any trades. I'm just going to run like, once people get into it, they're like, that's the same thing whenever you try to say like, oh, let's make a rule. Like let's add a super flex or something. Like people are like, no, I've been building this way. I'm not going to change the rules. Like, you have to like have the rules set before you go into it. Otherwise, like everyone has different motivations. Yeah.
Dude, DK Metcalf, like say what you will. And I mean, obviously we both would take the CD side. We're coming from that perspective. But what did DK just get 5 years, 100, $50 million? Like this is a guy who's locked into probably being the wide receiver 1 for a team who's probably going to get Aaron Rodgers. Say what you will about what that means for his fantasy production. First time around, it was vetoed as well with Kenneth Walker.
That's absurd.
Instead of DK, they said to try and rework it and send it again. Jeez. More info. I don't know if we need more info. Like I understand. I want to get context. I'm a big context guy, but I just think vetoes, in my opinion, it would have to be like, there's no way you could a reasonable person would ever want to do this.
A veto would have to be like a leaked DM that they're like, I'll give you CD Lamb for 8 weeks and then you will trade him back for me for like Sutton.
Or like, I'll give you DK and Sutton for CD, but like I get 20% of the winnings at the end of the year.
Yeah, like something like that, where it's like literally cheating, or like, you know, like to me, it's just absurd. Like I get it. Like I've been in leagues where it's like, and even if it's like home leagues, like maybe they just don't understand Dynasty that well. Well, you are watching a Dynasty Daddy stream, so you just send them a link to Dynasty Daddy and tell them, hey, click around. You'll learn how this game works and know why people are clowning you, but like, it's not a vetoable trade in my opinion. Like, like it would literally have to be like CD Jamar and like Drake May for DK and Sutton. I'd be like, okay, like there's something going on here, but this is just like a fleece.
Yeah. I think we're on the same page there for sure. John P is in the Discord. fighting about the Jay Jettas trade. They like the 101, 104 side. I will say, I said it wasn't terrible, but I think you have to do projection. You have to do projection is the thing. And when you have to do projection for a trade, I think that's when it's easy to lean the JJ side.
I think we like the 101 and the 104 until we realize it's like, Gene T and like Tet, and Tet is scoring 8 points a game, and Gene T is scoring 12, and is in a split backfield with Breece Hall, and you're like, wait, I could have had JJ, like there's you got to pay up to get a JJ, that's something you got to do, and to me, like, yeah, it's gonna hurt a little, but I mean, in all honesty, two first for an asset like Gene T. It is something that's like, yeah, I could see people taking the package, but it's also like not a fleece.
Yeah, no, I think it's super fair. I think it also was if I recall, was it a slight point per carry? No, I think I'm thinking of a different trade.
No, actually. I don't think so.
But yeah.
I'm correct. That is cheap. It's a cheap JJ. It's usually have to give like 3 first.
Yeah, I traded my most recent JJ trade. And these guys don't get moved very often. Like, I feel like only in deep leagues where it makes sense to like tier down. Because 12 teams start 9, start 10. It's like, yeah, give me JJ, give me CD, give me Chase. I traded 3 like my own hard-earned firsts in the future. It was like 24, 25, and 26. And Drake London. And Sam Howell for Justin Jefferson. So, like, right now, I think, like, if you said that and it was, like, 3 first, Drake London, you'd be like, yeah, give me the London side. Like, but it's 12 teams start 9. It was London, moderately disappointing season. And these firsts have been the 112 and the 110 so far. Yeah. So I felt good about that.
Well, that's what I mean. Like, you probably need to be, like, the 101, the 104, and, like, Zay Flowers to, like, realistically have some sort of fair deal. So in my opinion, it is cheap. It's a cheap JJ.
Yeah, Guy, this is I like this trade. AJ Brown and the 106 for JJ. I still like AJ Brown, but I don't hate that with this context too of having the 102, 104, and 109. Like, if we're talking like a normal start 10, start 9. Yeah, I think these kind of moves where you kind of splurge a little bit, where, like, yeah, I could talk myself into doing a tier down if, I'm pretty asset poor, or, it's a deeper league. Yeah. But pretty standard normal league, I'm fine splurging, doing a little splurge move to.
Yeah, you're not going to miss the 106. I mean, you still got 3 picks, so it's not. It's always harder when it's like you're 1 first, and you're like, well, like, there goes my 26 first. Like, I'm never going to get to do anything. But you got 3 first, so it's like whatever. Like, I still get to make 3 picks. I still get to take a bunch of shots. And then you also get JJ, where it's like a couple of years younger, tied to a much better passing offense. Eagles' offense is very good, not as much as the passing offense. So, we also don't know if AJ Brown's going to end up in a weird spot because there was some reading some self-help books. Who knows what's going on with him.
I know, yeah. AJ, I don't mind buying AJ Brown. Like, I still think he falls in the end of that, like, elite probably is going to smash next year, have difference making weeks. But I don't mind moving off of him for one of those
I will
JJ
say
Chase
too,
guys.
It says start 7. It says start 7 with 3 IDP. So
okay.
So yeah, you're definitely going to want to consolidate.
Oh, IDP does make things really interesting too. Having the 102, 105, having those picks. I wonder Travis Hunter go with the 101?
You should have moved Marv. I would have seen if I could have switched Marv and AJ Brown.
Probably.
Marv is a bubble. That's,
he doesn't have the dog in him. Is he dogless, Jeremy?
He's not, but he does what he did this year again, and he's down there with like Olave and Waddle. Like, people are like, oh, he's a Devonta Smith. Like, he's not going to be a Neighbors. Mm-hmm. He has to go out there and absolutely like rip.
Yeah, I think they probably. Yeah, I wonder what the Marv situation is going to look like. I do think he did have. I'm not gonna cope too hard on Marv. Legendary will trade getting off of Marv for AJ Brown or Amon-Ra St. Brown plus.
Oh, that's a good one.
Pretty early on in the season. I think it was after the Rams smash game.
Okay. I apologize to Guy. I will say I apologize to Guy. He does have Kyler, so he wanted to keep the stack. It's a little bit more understandable. So I get that now.
And I do think Marv did have, I mean, there was a couple, he catches like 2 or 3 of those end zone kind of like mishaps. Yeah, like he has the ball in his hands. And I think, I mean, we saw him do that at Ohio State.
He had that one game where people are like, he's washed and he like can't get separation, and then caught 2 passes for like 150 yards and 2 touchdowns. And everyone's like, oh, he's back.
Yeah. And that's, yeah, I mean, it's so tough, like that wide receiver range where it's, I think that's why too, I get so spooked sometimes about like rookie hype. And like, obviously you can look back at, oh, like this didn't go well, so like it's always not going to go well. But it's just like the projection thing, right? Where it's like, can I take, these, and that's why like we look at these AJ Brown or Justin Jefferson trades where you're moving off of picks, early picks, where it's like, yeah, but that could be, this guy plus Tet, and Tet's going to be Drake London. And it's like, well, I mean, could be, but he also could be, Jalen Waddle, right?
Yeah, it's like when you fill in a name for that pick, then it becomes a 1-for-1 trade. So.
Oh yeah. All right, 12 by 11 best ball Superflex PPR 1.7510 in premium Tracy or the 202 and 402. Ooh, 10 by 11 best ball.
Give me the picks.
Yeah, I think I'm going picks too.
I feel like I think I said it last, or it might be in my.
I'm currently editing a video where you're talking about Tyrone Tracy.
I remember I was listening to a pod and they're like Tracy's about to turn 26, and I was like, what? It's like there's no way, but it's true. He's 25. He's going to turn 26. I think most people don't realize that, but once he enters year 3 and they're like, wait, he's about to be 27 as a running back, like he doesn't have value. That's just like. I think he's fine. Like I think he's kind of like a Jalen Coker, where it's like, I think he'll have a role. I think he'll be like someone that you could use, but at his current value, I'm like, just get off of him. You can buy him back later. Yeah, he's just way too steamed up.
Right, and two, I mean, we've seen like the running back position is really scary too, and not just because of this draft, but like. Ty Chandler smashed at the end of 2023, right? Like these running backs who have like the running backs who like get carries does not equate to like the Giants are like, we got our guy, like we gave him carries and he produced fantasy points, like that's our dude. I mean, Singletary's still there, but I think they could add in this draft, obviously, but it's just like, man, would it surprise you at all if two years from now, Tyrone Tracy is a remember that guy? Like, would that surprise
Robinson.
you? Yeah, had some fumbling issues too. Like, there's
he has four fumbles, I think, 5 fumbles as a rookie, which is like not great. Yeah. I'm not saying he's washed, but like again, it's all, Dynasty is all a game of
the
value.
the second year washed player.
Yeah, the second year washed. He's a Trent Richardson. No, I mean, I can't justify his value. Like. If I can get what KeepTradeCut in like ADP Daddy and stuff say, like give me that. I mean, he's sitting around Joe Mixon, he's over Alvin Kamara, Najee, David Montgomery, Chuba. Give me all those guys. Like I'm not even blinking about that.
Yeah, I mean, just I want people to like go back and just kind of look at like the past couple seasons and running backs that you started. Like even just do this like on redraft. Like go back through your photos of the screenshots of your teams you took after the draft of players you started all season, and just like think about how different the running back room is versus like you can just tear down to these old guys who just have like consistent production. Giants suck. I don't see them using early capital on a running back, but here's the thing: like Tyrone Tracy wasn't early capital on a running back, right? Like
no, I think he's like I think it was like a 4th or something.
Yeah, and two, I mean, even if it's not this year. Like, let's say Tyrone Tracy has the same role he has this year. Like, it's just, I think it's like these players who you like think are like difference makers, and their production is like something you, 1, feel good about maintaining, and 2, is worthwhile the price you're paying to like lock into your lineup consistently. And I think like running back is just so replaceable. It's just not worth paying for. Like, and here's the
he's
thing,
a
even when
fifth
I'm
round.
wrong, yeah, and even if I'm wrong, and like Tyron Tracy, same role next season, has the carries, like is the Tyron Tracy production going to be worth the cash out price you can get right now for him?
Yeah, and also you add into the fact that this RB class is so loaded, they don't need to spend high draft capital. They spend a fourth, a fifth, bring in someone, and all of a sudden it's like, okay, well, like there goes all the steam he had. I mean, and two, like we've seen dumb teams before take a running back high, so you never can count them out just being like, let's smash Hampton at the 103 or something.
Yeah, and two, it's just, I mean,
I was being
like
sarcastic with the 103, but
yeah, I like Tracy, but like, is Tyron Tracy the kind of guy that you think the Giants are going to be like, we need to give this guy 75% of the work for the next 4 seasons? I don't.
No, I mean,
I don't
he'll have a role next year, sure, but again, it's definitely inflated, like John P said.
Yeah, you know what I'm going to be doing? I'm going to be buying some Chase Brown when the Bengals draft some late running back that people like.
Yes. That's when you buy a Tracy, is when they spend a 3rd round pick and draft like Tootin or something, and everyone's like, oh, it's over. Like, that's when you actually start buying those guys. Right now is when you sell them, because everyone's like, oh, like Chase Brown was amazing. And it's like, yes, but they also brought in Zach Moss, who wasn't amazing, and split until Zach Moss got injured. So
yeah,
I'm not too convicted on running backs. You just kind of have to ride the wave of hype.
Yeah, and I think too, it's the it's the role. It's like we talked about. They have the like 3. I'm not going to claim this because I didn't do too much thinking about it, but the like efficient offense or like fantasy friendly offense, the role as far as like pass catching and or goal line consistency, and then they are like an elite player themselves. And so like being in the Bengals offense, great situation for a running back. Blake Corum situation 2.0. Ooh.
It's like it's the will triangle. You have to have two of the 3.
There might be 4. It might be a square next week. I'll get to the lab and let you guys know how it goes.
But yeah, I mean, like Blake Corum's another guy, had a ton of hype, but went to a situation where he wasn't and then like you saw uncertainty with Kyron, you could have bought him in the offseason. And Blake Corum could come back and be amazing. I mean, we saw it with like Chardonnay as well, where like everyone's like Chardonnay's RB2 in this class, and then you got drafted behind Kenneth Walker, and like Chardonnay's still solid. Like he's still, when he plays, you're like, okay, like I feel comfortable slotting him in, but there's a lot that can factor into those things.
Yeah, line manage a ton for sure. Appreciate it. Well, for how supers that aren't on, what am I supposed to do with my money? I think there will be supers in the near future. A Dynasty Daddy. That is the hope. But
you gotta get that watch hours up. We just on repeat, the streams.
But yeah. Everyone replay. Go to sleep. Have this be your lullaby.
Yeah, we'll just
is the audio issues that were happening earlier that hopefully were slightly resolved throughout the stream. But
gotta make you sweat a little.
Any final words? We'll send his potty break line.
Okay.
Any closing thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's exciting that we have some moves. Like Diggs has been blowing up on the trade database right now.
That circle is pretty big.
I know. I was looking at it. It was like kind of crazy because he's like pushing 600 or so. He's at 533 trades right now. So like it's like almost double of anyone else. So it is it's still somewhat dry, but it's nice to actually have some action happening.
Yeah.
And I'm definitely excited as we get into April and we're actually about to get meaningful information. Because half the leagues I'm in, I'm like, anyone want to trade? Like, you interested in this? And they're like, sorry, dude, I'm watching Madness. So I'm like, okay. Like, I'm ready for people to start paying attention to the league so I can start moving around because I get anxious.
I'm with you. I just tried to do a display to show everyone the thing, and you started coming out of both of my ears at different times. So I'm gonna take a deep breath and we can end close on that while Will watches many YouTube videos on how to get the audio to.
We will be back in the lab. So we're gonna lab out the Will triangle square.
Yes.
of elite running backs, and how to get the audio to figure out.
But what I wanted to be known, what I was going to do is pulling up dynastydaddy.com and showing everyone. And actually, I'm going to mute you and then bring you back in so I can do this the way that I wanted to.
Okay.
So this is going to be the Will segment to close out the stream here. I'm going to get the off the screen. But you come over here, dynastydaddy.com, go to players, and you can look at this trade database that we were just talking about referencing. So you see all these Diggs trades, and this is what I love using Dynasty Daddy for. You can look and you can filter to, your league size, the team count, starters, tight end premium, quarterbacks. And this is like awesome for getting like real life, quick glance, current value, or just not even current value, but like what's happened in the real world, right? Because people talk about like KTC and ADP Daddy, and you're just checking these once big moves happen, but getting ideas for trades, like, oh man, what could I send out for Diggs? That is something that reasonably could be done. That's
too, like I will say too, like there's multiple things in the market that matter, right? Is my audio bad?
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
It's okay. We
Right,
can.
I just was going to say volatility means that people want those players, so you can actually make moves for them.
There we go. It closed up perfectly at the end there. You were one coherent voice to close out there.
It's all falling apart.
It's all falling apart, but we got some ideas for fixing it next stream. Girl, yes. And what better way to end than just a nice girl yes at the end of the stream. Appreciate it. Thank you all for hanging out. Thanks for the stream. Check out the Discord, link in the description. We're just in there cycling through Dynasty news, trades, conversations, dynastydaddy.com. Help me close out this intro. Well,
you might hear two of me, but
no, you're good. We're one now.
Okay.
We got a good clean one intro here.
But yes, definitely check out the Discord. It's free. We're hanging out there all the time.
We also got these streams. We'll continue to get better. But yeah, definitely keep plugged in there, and I'll continue to at everyone in the channel, but hopefully less to not annoy people. But yeah, and we also got some additional features I've been working on, so hopefully I get those out later this week.
I think the worst, and I'm going to close on this with little Will copium, and it's not Breece Hall related. I think the worst part about the audio issues is it sounds like Will's dumb, because it sounds like I have like our own YouTube open and I'm listening to it at the same time or something. It's the freaking site we're using for the. Okay, we're not going to get too into it.
Yes,
certain day it's on.
It is same day. Every week, Tuesday
nights, 9 p.m. Eastern time, to whenever Will has to go to the bathroom.
Yes, or the stream falls apart.
Yeah. Yes, thank you. All right, appreciate it. Thank you all for hanging out. We'll see you next Tuesday at 9 p.m. Like, subscribe, join the Discord. Peace out.